10 infamous swords from history!
From swords imbued in stone to great and powerful Japanese steel, we bring you 10 infamous swords from history.
Number 10. Galgano Sword in the Stone.
An actual sword in the stone may have been very real and completely different from the one of Arthurian legend you might be used to. It is located within a chapel in Monte Seppi, Italy. The sword has unique markings on it and is said to have been owned by Saint Galgano, a 12th century Tuscan knight. Galgano attempted to break his sword on a nearby rock to prove a point to Archbishop Michael when his sword sliced through the bold like butter. The sword in the stone still rests where Galgano left it behind.
Number 9. Durandal.
Located at the Notre Dame Chapel in France, a mysterious blade has been plunged deep in a cliff just above the church. The monks claim that the sword is Durandal and belonged to a paladin named Roland. Moreover, according to French lore, Roland plunged the sword deep into the side of the mountain to ensure it would be kept safe from enemies. The sword has been such a huge attraction that it's become a popular pilgrimage destination. The holy blade has since been removed and given to the Cluny Museum in Paris.
Number 8. Cursed Muramasa Swords.
According to legend, Muramasa was said to be one of the greatest swordsmiths in all of Japan. He prayed to the gods that his blades would be the best at destroying men, and because of the quality of his work, the gods acquiesced, but perhaps far too well. For if the blades were not satiated with battle, they would make the wielder crazy. Moreover, there have been numerous reports back then of Muramasa sword wielders acting crazy or being murdered. So much so that by law they had to be banned from using by Shogun Tokugawa Ieyasu, who blamed the weapon for the deaths of practically all of his family members. Whether or not Muramasa swords were cursed at all are up for speculations, as the blades were increasingly popular during that time period.
Number 7. Joyous.
This sword belonged to that of King Charlemagne himself. The blade was so beautiful that it was said to have changed colors 30 times a day, and even more ridiculous, that it could shine brighter than the sun. There have been 2 swords named Joyous and have been used in French coronation ceremonies. Obviously, they can't both be the famed sword, leading to the mystery of which one belonged to Charlemagne. The one located in Louvre has had alterations made to it, and its oldest section dates just past Charlemagne's lifetime. The one located in Vienna dates closer to the time of Charlemagne, though still before him. Wherever the real sword Joyous is up for speculation.
Number 6. The Wallace Sword.
You may have heard the name William Wallace from history or the movie Braveheart. Either way, there were reports that Wallace used human skin belonging to the Treasurer of Scotland, Hugh de Cressingham, for his sword's various components. What's more, King James IV sent the blade to have its scabbard, belt, and pommel replaced, which further led to speculation about the authenticity of the claim that Wallace's sword contained human skin. The sword and its replacement parts are now in the National Wallace Monument.
Number 5. The Kusanagi.
This blade was reportedly found in the body of an 8-headed snake, who was killed by the storm and sea gods. The Kusanagi is said to be located in the Atsuta Shrine in Nagano, although its existence cannot be verified and has not been seen in the public's eye for centuries. The sword is brought out for a few select imperial coronation ceremonies. Though it's always kept under wrappings, authorities keep the myth alive by not denying or affirming the existence of the blade.
Number 4. St. Peter's Sword.
This infamous blade was used by St. Peter. In one instance, the saint used the cutter to chop off the ear of a servant for a high priest while in the Garden of Gethsemane. According to English legend, the blade was said to have been brought by Joseph of Arimathea to England, along with the Holy Grail. To contrast, during the year 968, Bishop Jordan brought a sword to Poland and deemed that it was St. Peter's blade. Jordan's sword has been considered to be the genuine blade and was moved to the Archdiocese Museum in Poznan.
Number 3. The Seven-Branch Sword.
This sword was found in Japan's Isanokami Shrine in 1948. Moreover, it was crafted very strangely with its protrusions. Although the sword was in terrible conditions, an inscription was discovered and deciphered, where the sword was found to be a gift from a Korean king to a Japanese monarch. Amazingly, this matched the description of a sword found in the Nihon Shoki, which cataloged Japan's early history, and that a 7-branch sword was given to Jingu, a shaman empress. Many scholars now believe that Jingu's legitimacy has been unveiled with the finding of this sword.
Number 2. Sword of Goijin.
This sword was discovered in a tomb in China. Despite being well over 2,000 years old, Goijin did not have any sort of rust, and even drew blood when testing. Ugh. The craftsmanship was highly detailed for a sword made so long ago, and is regarded as a treasure comparable to that of King Arthur's Excalibur in the West.
Number 1. La Tizona.
La Tizona belonged to the legendary hero El Cid, who was known for fighting for both Christian and Muslim armies in Spain. His sword is reported to be displayed in a museum in Burgos, Spain. The blade was reported to have been given to the Marquis of Faucet by King Ferdinand in 1516, where it was then passed down generations until it was handed to the Madrid Military Museum in 1944, until once again sold for display in the Museum of Burgos. Its legitimacy was questioned by investigators who claim that this La Tizona was crafted centuries after the lifetime of El Cid. There is an epic poem called Lay of El Cid, where La Tizona was said to have instilled fear and awe into the hearts of its enemies. The sword's authenticity remains a fierce debate to this day.